And it's the reverse fixture of the opening day of the season this weekend. How far do you think we've come since that day?
Yeah, I think we've progressed. Obviously, it's been, like I said before, we've had little lulls in the season, but hopefully now we've turned the corner on that and looking forward and progressing pretty nicely at the moment. It's just about keeping the messages consistent and making sure that we do the basics right.
What went right for us that day on the opening day?
A lot of things. I thought we showed an endeavour. I thought we showed a work rate, matched their hard work, and then a little bits of quality showed. Scored a few from set pieces, which we were quite big on during pre-season. So yeah, it was a pleasing result. But like I said before, that game, there was nothing won on that game, nothing lost. Brackley have recovered really well. They had a little slow start to the season, but like I said before, they'll always be thereabouts because they're run by a good manager and a good club. So no, Brackley will be a tough opponent as well.
Do you expect them to be a different test? Obviously conditions are completely different, things like that at this time of year.
Having watched them with the pretty similar how they approach it, I don't think they've changed much in the way they approach. They've had a couple of formation changes a few games back, but no, we kind of know what to expect from Brackley, and rightly so, they've picked up some good results today.
And for us, we just want to continue what we've been doing recently, haven't we? We said going into the other game on Tuesday that we were building up, and now I suppose we've hit that level again where we just need to match it and carry on, don't we?
Yeah, and it's making sure there's not a complacency in us play. We have to make sure that we continue to work hard on the basics and the hard work off the ball, and then when we have the ball, have a little bit of free play about us. But yeah, we've got to a level now where I expect us to continue and still progress from there. Again, there are going to be little lulls in performances, but that's natural in football. It's just about being consistent as a message from staff to players, and then obviously players to each other.
I know you'll only look at one game at a time, but it is a tough run of fixtures, isn't it? You've got the likes of Chorley and Kidderminster coming up as well.
Yeah, but then you've got to play everyone, I suppose, and they'll be saying exactly the same with us. I mean, look at the league from New Year's Day. We saw the results where they went against favoured teams, so we don't take anything lightly. We make sure we prepare every single day, no matter who we're playing this league.
I just said the Kidderminster result just epitomised again what this league is all about, and Leamington getting another good home win as well.
Yes, both teams there were playing. We've got Russell in a couple of weeks' time, so we'll make sure we're prepared on that. So yeah, it just shows you that anyone on the day can beat anyone, and that's what I've said all along. That's why don't get too carried away with results and don't get too up and too down. Just keep it consistent and make sure we're the most consistent team throughout 46 games.
Team news, and I know the only drawback to the win the other day was Ross Barrows. What's the latest on him?
Yeah, so Ross has got a swollen knee. We've seen him for an MRI scan today. It's awful when you see injuries when there's no real contact in it, so we'll make sure that we do right by Ross, make sure we look after him. We've got a good physio department that will make sure he's got the best care we can get. And yeah, I'm good for Ross because he was starting to come back to, and I'll admit this, he was starting to come back the more the player was at the beginning of the season. Again, we had a little bit of a lull, probably at the same time as Ross did, but he was back on it on New Year's Eve, and so unfortunate how it happens, but no, we just got to make sure Ross is right.
And they say it was probably one of his best games for a while, wasn't it, with the first half an hour that he played?
Yeah, I thought it was a terrific first third, well, until he went off really, but no, I'm good for him because like, he's been integral to our approach this season. Great character, good pro, but like, we've all been in injuries in football. I think it makes you tougher. Makes you realise how lucky you are in the sport to be part of a professional team. So they'll give him that hunger to get back, and we've got to make sure we give him that rehab properly.
He's one of the few players to play in every single game in all competitions. He, up until the Marine game, had started in every game. How big of a gap will he be to fill?
Yeah, it'll be a big gap, a big loss. But we've got players that can adapt, and we've got other players that can play different roles. We know we've got numerous players. We've got Kean Scales, Michael Kelly, Max Brogan can play there. We can change a little bit of shape if needs be. We've got a centre half that can play out wide. So we've got all sorts of contingency plans ready for us to make sure that we're prepared for tomorrow.
In terms of that, you've got players in the building. Will you be looking elsewhere as well?
Yeah, still looking elsewhere, not just at fullback either. We've got to make sure that we don't stagnate and we keep progressing and bringing the best players we possibly can to make us get to that finishing line and the end target that we spoke about. But yeah, I've been in contact with numerous clubs. It's a bit tricky over this transfer period because of EFL clubs don't want to let players go because they're unsure on who's staying, who's going, and they could need covering certain positions. But we are doing this work behind the scenes, and like I said, there'll be hopefully someone in.
In terms of other injuries, how's Alfie and Sam Fishburne? Yeah.
Alfie's been good. Back on the pitch, training pitch now. We ran yesterday, hit his match speed. So really pleased with Alfie. It's settled down really well. Fish did some jogging today, some running. So he's got a little bit of catching up to do, but no, Fish will be fine.
With Alfie, you said his first involvement the other week was 97%. How much do you have to make sure that he's able to go when you do call upon him?
Well, yeah, we made sure he hit his 100% sprint yesterday, so we know that the hamstring's strong and we know he's fit. And again, like I said before, I had a conversation when there was a little bit of doubt and he held back a little bit. So yeah, we know we have to make sure he's right, and we don't want to do it again. So just make sure that he's bang on, which he is now.
Just finally, we obviously ended the year in a great way at home. How good would it be to start the calendar year off in a similar fashion?
Yeah, really good, because it's the next game, and I keep going back to it. No matter what we do, it's only a game, and then we focus on that result, one game at a time, and then we move on. Not sitting back thinking we've made it now, we've beaten Kings Lynn, because again, Kings Lynn will be there towards the end of the season. It was a good result on the day, really enjoyable, good to see people happy, but full concentration on Brackley now, which will be a stern test.